Hello and welcome to the last podcast of the year 2025. So me myself, I always listen to podcasts when I'm driving, when I'm cooking, when I'm cleaning. I really struggle to just sit down and listen. Again, overactive brain. I have to be doing something at the same time. And then it really annoys me when then the podcast is like, and for this exercise, you have to sit down and close your eyes, or for this, I recommend you take a notebook out and answer some questions, because I'm like, damn, I'm doing something. I don't have time to really, sit down and do something else. And then I save the episode for later, and then I don't get around to listen to it. But this is going to be one of those annoying episodes. Normally I get super inspired to, talk and talk and talk about what, things I've seen or clients I've had or experiences I've had myself, and want to talk to you about how you can address it. But I'm feeling super zen today, and I have been sending to my email list an audio with how to process your feelings. I did a process your feeling on Instagram the other day, and I feel we are so busy with being in our minds and analyzing and how can we do stuff and problem solving. And I really want to show you how powerful it is to fall into your own body and listen to it and really be in it and checking out how you're feeling. And I know there's a big resistance to this. I had it, so I'm just assuming you have it as well. Maybe not. Maybe you just love being present in your body. Then hallelujah, I love you for it. And I'm really jealous. But if you're anything like me, you will try to analyze yourself out of any situation. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're having any quote unquote negative feelings, because what is negative here, then the best way to deal with that is actually to deal with it with your body. You cannot analyze your way out of a bad feeling. It can take a long time, and sometimes there's no obvious solution to what's going on, which means that because you can't find a solution, then your brain is just spinning and spinning and spinning in the same patterns. For example, I'm really annoyed because yesterday we had some really shitty people working with us and it didn't go well, and we're going to get complaints and we were too overwhelmed. And then you feel really bad over some patients that didn't get seen properly or didn't get treated properly. And then you feel bad, and then you can't do anything about it because that happened yesterday, and then you're just spinning, right? And sometimes shit happens and we just feel bad in some way or form, or we feel really anxious because tomorrow is gonna happen, or you feel thinking about a case, whatever it is, like the million reasons to be anxious and bad med. And we don't want to have that feeling, and we try to think our way out of it, which can be really, really hard. So I want to help you do an exercise processing the feeling, literally just feeling the feeling and being with it, as opposed to trying to analyze our way out for it. So if you're cooking or you're driving or you're cleaning right now, I'm really sorry. You're going to have to listen to something else or stop what you're doing. Just let that rice burn. God damn it. Mental health is more important. No, don't do that. It smells terrible. Bruce knows very well. He always forgets the rice. So in that case, then, if you're doing something, pause the podcast and come back to it later when you're in bed, or you have 5 or 10 minutes for yourself. If you are already sitting down not doing anything, then this is it. This is the moment. You can do this exercise. You can repeat, just save the podcast, and you can have it for when you wake up in the morning and you just want to practice checking in with your emotions before you go to work. So you kind of have a baseline that you know about before you go to work. You can use this at work, have it in your pocket, literally. So if you are feeling really overwhelmed and your heart is beating faster than a rabbit, and you're just like, I can't cope with this right now, you just go into the loo, you close the door, just say, my stomach hurts. Nobody's going to ask you any details about that if you disappear for 5 minutes. And then you sit down on the loo. I mean, if you need the loo, just sit down on the loo, but otherwise put the lid down and sit on top of that. And then you do it there. And you can also do it when you get home from work or before bed. So you kind of have some sort of control and some sort of more than, I don't like saying control because we can't really control our emotions, but more like the awareness and the being okay with the emotions, right? So this exercise is not to eliminate a feeling. It's not like I'm anxious, I'm going to do this, and then it's just going to go away. It's more to make us realize that no emotions is going to kill you. No emotion is bad for you. No emotion mean that having it as something as terribly wrong. It's just literally a vibration in your body. And if we go down to like quantum level, if you think about it, you know, like if you look at your hands right now, they look like two pieces of flesh, right? But in reality, we know that at quantum level, they are just electrons that are vibrating, right? And then they look like hands in some certain way. But our emotions are literally just electrons that are vibrating as well. And us panicking over our electrons vibrating at a certain way, it doesn't make any sense. You know, like they are allowed to vibrate responding to any situation that is going on, and it doesn't mean that anything has gone terribly wrong or that you are wrong or that, you know, catastrophe is going to happen. They're just there. So it's that awareness and that realization that me feeling anxiety is not a problem. I can feel it, and that's what we're going to do in a second. I'll stop yapping, sorry. We can feel it and it can just be there, and it's okay. It doesn't mean anything. The panic and the extra heart rate burning away is when we are feeling it and we're trying to push it away. It's like pushing a beach ball down underwater and it keeps popping up and it just makes it worse and worse, pushing it away. And this is why a lot of us then end up, you know, drinking, overworking, being on social media, whatever it is, just trying to buffer and try and like just still that emotion. But the exercise we're going to do, I think is probably going to take about 5 minutes, but it actually doesn't take that long to process once you know how to do it and once you do it a few times. It's a really good idea to do this a couple of times when you're not feeling any super strong emotion, because when you're in it, it can be a bit difficult to kind of like notice and do the exercise. So it's a bit like, you know, practicing a bit spay for the first time in a super fat 7-year-old Labrador, you know, like you don't want to do that. You want to practice in something like skinny and easy before that. So the same with process that feeling. You want to maybe just process a normal how you're feeling in this instant, but you're not really feeling anything too much, because it's going to be a bit easier than this like what am I feeling, I don't know, you know, right? So you can do it, but you can for sure use this in an emergency situation and just like go in and process and see how you feel. Okay, so let's do this. So if you were driving or cooking, stop and sit it down, or wait for this episode for later. You can do this lying down or you can do this sitting down. I'm sitting down right now and I want you to close your eyes. I want to put your hands on your lap, on your legs, depending if you're lying down, with your palms facing up. Just breathe in through your nose, long breath. Out through your mouth, release. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Release. And I just want you to notice, if you're sitting down, your feet planted on the floor, how they are rooted into the floor, how you're in contact with the earth, how the earth is supporting you, carrying you. Notice your back, your bum, your thighs, your arms. If you're lying down as well, your head, supported by the earth. You're not falling anywhere. You're fully supported. You're not going anywhere. You are in your place. You're grounded and feel safe right now. I want you to feel really safe in your body and in your surroundings. Breathe in through your nose and release through your mouth. Let's breathe together once more. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, let's just do a quick body scan and find where the feeling is in this moment in your body. You've got your toes, feet, heels, ankles, your shins, calves, your knees, your hamstrings that are being supported right now, the top of your thighs, butt, pelvis, your lower back, upper back, shoulder blades, your shoulders. Maybe roll them once just to feel how they are. They're stiff. And let's take it from the front. So your pelvic area in the front, your belly button, your stomach. Feel under your diaphragm. How is that area? Breathe in And move up to your chest. Breathe into it. And release. Now let's roll the neck a couple of times. How is your neck feeling? Back of your ears. How is your throat? Your jaw. The skin over your jaw. Your eyes, are they crunched together? Are they relaxed? How are your eyebrows? Forehead? Scalp? Let's look at the shoulders again. Overarms, elbows, underarms, wrists, hands, fingers. Notice if they're gripping or if they're relaxed. Okay, let's breathe in again through your nose. And out through your mouth. Release. Now, where is the feeling in your body right now? Are you tensing up anywhere? Have you got anything sitting in your stomach, in your gut, in solar plexus? I often, when I feel anxiety, I feel there's something really deep in my stomach, really heavy. Or is it maybe in your chest? Does your chest feel constricted in any way? Does it feel anything heavy there? Maybe in your throat, is there anything tight there? Where is it? Somewhere different in your head? Have you maybe got a headache? Breathe into it, release. Now you identified where it is. There might be more than one feeling, but let's go with where it feels strongest right now. Is it a stuck feeling, or is it moving, vibrating in any way? Does it feel heavy, or does it feel light and fluttery? Is there a texture to it? Is it hard or soft? So I often, when I feel tense, I feel like it's almost like a metal or stone rock thing in my stomach. When I'm excited, it could be like a fluttery feeling in my chest. Sometimes I can also feel like metal bands almost around my chest constricting it. So that was the texture. Is there texture to it? Hard, soft, heavy or light? Has it got a temperature? Is it neutral? Or does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? You know, you say you feel like you've got ice in your stomach. Any temperature to it? Is there color? Sometimes when I feel down, it feels this hard thing in my stomach, this hard rock feels like grey, dark grey. Sometimes if it's a positive feeling, I can feel like almost like warmth in my chest. So is there temperature? Is there color? Have you identified where it is? Try and breathe into it, like really breathe and just try and release. We're not trying to let the feeling go. We're just trying to see what happens now that we're observing it and we're breathing into it. We're accepting it's there. So let's breathe in through our nose. And out through your mouth. Do that one more time. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Notice what happens when you just stop observing your emotion. It doesn't have to change it anyway at all. We just notice it's there, it's in our body. It's just electrons vibrating in a specific pattern. What's it doing now? Has it changed? Has it moved up or down? Has it become loosened a bit? Has it tightened more? If it was in your throat, has it changed in any way? Do you still feel really constricted, or is it a bit easier to breathe? There's nothing that's right or wrong, it just is. And now, can you name that emotion? Is there a name for it? What would you call it? Now, as the very last exercise in this processing, just ask your body, like, well, why is this emotion there? What happened? Why am I feeling like this? What is it trying to tell me? Just give it a few moments to answer you while you're breathing in through your nose. Let's release through the mouth. Just sit a bit quiet and just let it be there. See what it's doing, see what it's saying to you. Okay. So now wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. You can like rotate the wrists a bit, stretch your neck, move a bit, open your eyes. Hi. How was that? It's important when you do this feeling to not name the emotion or ask what it means until the very end, because that's when you will then go back out into our heads. And as long as we can stay in the body the longer, the better, because that really gives us a chance to feel into it and tune into how we're vibrating or whatever is stuck in there and just notice it, no? And then afterwards, when you name your emotion, it's called emotional labeling. And that really helps to just take the danger out of the emotion. You know, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling frustrated. And then you can say, you can ask, why am I feeling like this? And sometimes the answer will surprise you. For example, I was coaching a client the other day, and normally I think her emotion goes to the chest, but it was actually really in her throat. And she realized that she was feeling this constriction, this anxiety in her throat, and it was actually frustration towards herself because she hadn't spoken up and said something she would have wanted to say in a specific occasion. And this is just good to know, right? But if you don't ever do this process, you might not know exactly what you're feeling and why you're feeling. She thought she was frustrated at the client for what this thing the client did, but there was actually more frustration and anger at herself because she hadn't set a boundary. And this is really good to know, right? And now you can address it and what do you want to do next time and why didn't you speak up for yourself in this moment? But if you don't take the time to do this, you just never know exactly what's going on inside you. You just know you're feeling uncomfortable and you're feeling meh and icky, but you don't really know why. And once you label it, labeling as well, I explained before, is calming down that this your amygdala. It calms it down. It I think it's like if you are doing an MRI scan of your brain and you label the emotion in that moment, you just see the excitement and the irritability of the amygdala, the lightning just it goes down to like 50%. So this alone, this exercise alone, will help you so much if you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious and stressed out in the clinic or in your daily life. And it also really helps when you get home. You could maybe sit in the car for a little while, keep the heating on now that we're in December. Unless you're in Australia, then keep the air conditioner on and sit and do this maybe before you go into your house and you face your partner, your family, your animals. And this will make you feel so much more centered and grounded and calm. And that just that little bit happier because you feel more in contact with yourself. You feel more aligned. You feel more yourself in general and more in control as opposed to just being whipped around by emotions and thoughts you're not even aware of, right? I love journaling as well, but I know if you're really overwhelmed and stressed and freaked out, journaling can be super hard because you have to force yourself to sit down with your notebook or with your notes on your phone or on your computer and start writing. And it can just, your thoughts are coming at you are like 1,000 per minute, and it can be overwhelming. But this exercise, if you use the guidance in this podcast, it will just take you through step by step, and it can get you down to a point where maybe then you can journal on it afterwards, or maybe now you can talk to your partner about it and get it off your chest. But coming from a much more grounded and calm space than, and this happened, brrr, if you want to analyze it now, you can, but you're not in this like terribly out of control kind of freak and anxious, hurting stomach, constricted throat, can hardly breathe place, right? And also, if you do this in the morning when you wake up, you wake up, you sit up in bed, you can put your feet on the ground, and you can just quickly do this. You can just have, if you have your phone by you, just get onto this podcast notice when the processing starts, and you can just forward it to then, and just like do it before you get to work. I'm like, oh, I notice I'm feeling anticipation. Oh, I notice I'm feeling a bit anxious about today. Why is that? And you don't get to work already like without knowing what's going on with you. You already know how you're feeling before you start your day. You know what's going on inside of you, so you at least have somewhere neutral to start, right? I hope this was really helpful. If you're listening to this in real time, then I wish you a very, very happy new year. I mean, I wish you a happy new year no matter when you listen to it. That was really silly of me to say. I wish you all the best. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2026. Love you so much. Have a great day. Bye.